What's going on, guys? A bit of a belated deck profile, but this is my list for YCS Milan 2019.
And where did you place at YCS Milan?
Well, I didn't win. Top 4.
Oh, did you lose in the third place playoff?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's sad.
Oh, don't worry about it. Show us the deck profile then.
Yeah. So these are the normal summons. So we got 2 Mathematician, Armageddon Knight, and of course Greffa.
So why this ratio? I'm assuming you play Rotor as well. So
Yeah.
why 5?
So it's easy to make the argument that like you should be maxing out on Mathematicians, but I think it's easier to say that you're just wanting to run 5 starters rather than just maxing out on a playset. They all have bonuses. These are slightly, Armor and Greffa are slightly weaker to Shark Cannon in the mirror because they're literally starters for your opponents if they have spells. Math is just dope if you get interrupted and you open with an engage as well, because it's like you have a draw and a Shizuku.
Yeah, you can crash the Mathematician, yeah.
And yeah, you can literally do it. I think that came up in one of my Swiss matches.
Yeah, I see everyone dropping Scrap Recycle, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna change after Wyvern comes out, but yeah, it's super weak to Monster Reborn and Shark Cannons as well.
Okay.
And of course, not to mention these normal summons. Yeah, nice. Three fantastic.
So what happens in top 4 of these?
Legit, I pooped, man. I think I probably could have argued it because I activated Crescendo and then normal summoned it because I just wasn't thinking. I just had a brain fart where I thought I had a Harping Grave when I activated Crescendo. It sucked, but it is what it is. I'm definitely going to try and not make that mistake again.
Yeah. Hopefully next time on feature looks better.
Yeah, and make sure to use the code ASH5 on Tier 0 games for 5% off. And then onto the Orcust. We have 2 Symbol, 3 Hearts, and 3 Nightmare. I noticed that Andreas cut a Nightmare, but I didn't really have any consistency issues, except for obviously in that last feature match, but that is what it is. I think that's more down to variance. Obviously we have the 1 Wand and the 1 Gizmek. Incredible cards. I wouldn't cut Symbol down anymore. But yeah, that's it for the monsters. So for the spells we have Honor Drones, 2 Shark Cannon.
So why this ratio of 2 Shark Cannon?
Every deck profile that I watched before and after Milan, especially with Pasadena, were complaining that sometimes Afterburners was kind of dead and stuff. But it came up in testing where you kind of want to have a 4th target. So we chose that Shark Cannon was basically the best one to run at 2 because you can't run Hornet Drones at 2 and Widow Anchor's at 1 as well. So why not use the card that's a starter and a Call by the Grave?
Makes sense, yeah.
And then obviously the Widow Anchor and Ban Engage.
Yeah, such a broken card.
Yeah, it's just stupid, right? You draw all the draw cards in the game that are good as spells, and this card gets better with them. And this is just a toolbox, so it's a crazy toolbox. Then we have more 1-ups, Rotor, Upstart, Babble, and Foolish. Nothing really to say about these. Upstart was Upstart was added for instead of the third return.
I remember looking at your list later after you finished the YCS and you only played 2 return. I thought that was quite strange when you're still playing 3 Nightmare. So what's your reasoning behind that?
Well, I mean, I guess the new Mermaid is Barricade Blocker and Phoenix as well. So you kind of just always want to have a card that you can potentially discard.
So Nightmare's like a pseudo starter if you can make a link.
Literally, yeah. Like, look, yeah, it came up in one of my feature matches, I think, where I just sent a second heart because, and whereas this card's hard once and it's searchable, and you can kind of treat Upstart as like a third of it. and not have to like kind of worry. But yeah, I wasn't too sad about that. It still bring me in my top 4, so maybe 1.
Okay.
And then obviously 3 or lower. I sided it out sometimes, especially in the mirror.
Yeah, it gets hurt by Lancia, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like people were going to be more likely to just start shotgunning it because of a law. Because it's basically known after game 1 that you're playing Striker Orcust. It became quite a good flex spot, and sometimes you're even able to like cut a Nightmare and a symbol out as well. Because obviously the worst thing is having access to 1 symbol and you have to banish it for another at times. And for the traps. And the 3 imperm. So I think my teammate wanted to, I think he cut imperm to 2. And they just kind of wanted to run less hand traps. But I just wanted to max out on imperm and Ash.
Yeah, they seem really high impact still.
Yeah, still, like, you know, like, I mean, Ash is just a crazy normal summon, and imperm is just hard to beat.
So let's do extra.
Yeah, sure. So we start with 1 Kagari.
Okay.
And the Shizuku. So I was on this from the second I watched Dom Couch's feature match at YCS Pasadena. The card just seems so good. Gives you access to, I guess, stealing your opponent's Lancia and then lancering them back with a shark cannon in end phase. If you literally just open up with an engage. And I get, you know, it opens up so many lines to be able to like outwit boards, like when you have to normal summon a symbol to get through stuff.
Yeah, also just gives you more value, I mean, when you open your drones.
Yeah, exactly. Then we have the big boys, Boral Sword, Bulma, Ouroboros. Yeah, self-explanatory. These are a lot to do with the utility of...
You had your pack? No, sorry, hello?
The utility for IP, I mean, Bomber's a bit more of a greedy pick, because if you want to just protect your... Well, if you want to be lazy and you just want to set your imperm and like not have to rely on Ouroboros like resolving to use it, this is pretty good. Especially if you want to like set a return or a crescendo and you just get to sit on it for the next turn. And obviously, one of the best cards of the deck. These 3.
So a lot of our team, the rest of our team, cut this.
Yeah.
So why is this necessary, do you think?
So this card just wins you games. You're running 2 shark cannon. You can versus Striker. You can literally just take their ray and banish all their back row. Off a multi-roll, you know what you have to play through. I don't know. This card's it's so crazy. You can make a play where you use the Gizmek to proc this and have a wand ready engraved to bring it back, to then make a Ouroboros and then banish for 8 more, and that has to be a game.
Yeah.
And then,
I saw in the feature match that all you had to do was just trigger Trisbane twice, and no matter what the Striker player did, you just couldn't play past it.
Exactly. It was the same with the Striker and Tridraker player in top 4, where he card demises, he has to set everything, and I just get to Gizmek and he scoops. It makes that matchup a lot easier than pure Orcust found it, basically. Then obviously Barricade Wall Blocker, the Pseudo Mermaid, and I cut the 3rd Galatea. Luckily it never came up. The games that you get to set up IP usually they just end before it ever comes up. Then it was 1 Longearsu and 2 Dingus.
Yeah, it seems pretty standard besides cutting the 3rd Galatea.
Now for the side deck. So, to start off, we had 3 Nibiru.
So, what's your opinion on this card?
So, it was basically just there for either combo or Salamangreat especially. Obviously, I think a lot of the combo decks are just making an Appaloosa before they do anything, especially with the Seafoot Thunder deck. Pendulum always have access to Jackal King. So it's a bit iffy, but with Salamangreat, I think we won the 3v3 because I opened 2 Nibiru's and I just get to just drop them twice.
Yeah, it's really hard for Salad to play past this.
Yeah, it's a really crazy card. The next 3 Lancia. Now this card has seen some contention with the Striker Orcust kind of conundrum where it really doesn't do enough. Obviously, Shark Cannon's a card, so you know you can rob it, and that came up for me in a Swiss game. It's crazy, you know. You open 2 Lancia and then you have a Shark Cannon to make a 3rd one when they Lancia you back. I still sided it against every Orcust player, Striker or Pure, that I played. It's just too high impact to not want to run.
Yeah, it's a D barrier, isn't it?
Basically, yeah, of course. And the 1 Pankratops.
Oh, so you don't run any other hand traps? No Krill's Skullmeister?
No.
What's your opinion on those?
They had to be cut to like keep a nice balance between engine, the toolbox for all the spells. Dom Couch's list where he runs like Skullmeisters and Crows, it just seemed a bit too much. I'd rather want to try and play my turn out and just have 1 hand trap than open 4 or 5 and struggle.
So he's just playing way too many defensive cards?
I think so.
Okay. That's no problem.
For the spells, 3 Twin Twisters, Jamming Waves and Afterburners.
Also, you're playing both of them?
Yeah. They have to... You can kind of make them both do the same thing, especially with Afterburners. It came up when I was against a True Draco player in Swiss, where I popped his monster to pop his diagram, and then it just went downhill for him from there, and it was a very easy win. I'd still side both of these in. It becomes like you side out 3 Allure, Symbol, Nightmare, and 1 mystery card for these 6 almost every time. Against True Draco, it's like Phantasme and Imperm.
So it just gives the Sky Striker engine more legs against Rogue.
Exactly, and having more names means it can go further if you open quite a few names. Obviously, sometimes you also want to side out both Shark Cannon because it just does nothing in that matchup, and being able to literally replace it with 2 other Striker cards is very relevant.
Fair enough.
And then, instead of Mind Control, I decided to play Dark Ruler No More.
Oh, Dark Ruler No More.
Yeah.
Why this card? It doesn't seem to be very necessary versus the current meta decks.
This had a lot to do with rumours on the ground. We heard a lot of talk about the Chaos, the Thunder Dragon.
Oh, the Seafoot deck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this card just kills Appaloosa and Dweller. I mean, it can come up against Lunalight as well, where they, and I guess IP to a smaller extent, but I never sided against Orcust, where they have to choose whether they're going to play around Imperm or Dark Ruler more, and a lot of the time they're not playing around this card.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you'd have the choice of Babel or Crescendo usually, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, have you got anything else to say before we end the deck profile? Any shout-outs?
I've definitely got shout-outs. I've got nothing to say there. First of all, shout-outs to Tier Zero.
Yeah, shout-outs to Tier Zero.
Ollie and Joel, you're the men. Shout out to Matty and Zahab, Zeki, Chen behind the camera.
Yeah.
Andre. Am I missing anyone?
What about
Joe
the lot
White.
behind us? The Knots.
Yeah. Shout out to the Knots guys and Geek Retreat Nottingham. Pan around right now.
Yeah. So recently, when was it opened actually?
Like last week.
Last weekend.
Yeah. When we went to Milan.
Okay.
Great space. Definitely check it out. There are going to be a few regionals here as well, which is quite exciting.
Yeah. So, 4th of January? Yeah, so come down 4th January. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you very much now, and congrats on your top 4.
Thank you.